Hello FPL fans and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the buy hold sell for FPL Gameweek 31. In this video we're going to be taking a look at 3 buy options, 3 hold options and 3 sell options to assist you guys with your transfers for the upcoming game week. So just before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to show support for the channel, and once again share this video with your friends if you guys are enjoying this type of content. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So first of all, starting off with the buy options, beginning with Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota is coming in at £6.8 million and has been in great form recently as he has got himself 3 goals in his last 2 matches. This means that for this season, Diogo has got himself 8 goals and 0 assists with an XG of 3.56, showing that he is significantly outperforming his XG, which is exactly what you want from an FPL asset. He's totaled his points to 69 for this season, which is very impressive considering that he has only had 8 starts for Liverpool this season. He also has a 9% ownership, which is relatively low in the middle of the park and could be a good differential option coming into the back end of the season. With Liverpool's very good upcoming fixtures of Aston Villa, Leeds and Newcastle as their next 3, he could be a great short-term punt as Liverpool do end the season with quite good fixtures. So overall, considering that he is such a lethal option to have in the middle of the park and his low price tag and low ownership, he could be a good option to have for the upcoming game weeks if you want to save some money in the middle of the park. Moving on to the next player on the list, it is Harry Kane. Kane was incredible in his most recent match against Newcastle as he was lethal, picking himself up 2 goals. This means that for this season, Kane is the leading goal scorer now in the Premier League with 19 goals and 13 assists. With an XG of 17.56, there is no shortage of chances for Harry Kane as he is always finding himself in those very attacking positions, and now with Heung-min Son coming back into that Spurs side, it just makes Kane all the more enticing as him and Son do combine for so many goals. Kane is a relatively higher end option with a 47.4% ownership, so if you still don't own him in your team, it is definitely worthwhile getting him in, as Spurs has some decent upcoming fixtures as well, as they face Manchester United at home as their next match, but then have a double game week in which they face Everton and Southampton, which is just screaming points for the Spurs attacking assets. And moving on to the third buy option, it is Trent Alexander-Arnold coming in at £7.3 million. Alexander-Arnold put together a very good performance in Game Week 30, getting himself 12 points by picking up an assist and a clean sheet against Arsenal. This means now that Liverpool have kept 2 clean sheets in their last 2 matches, with clean sheets against Wolves and Arsenal respectively. This season, Trent has got himself 1 goal and 4 assists and has been decent on the attacking front for Liverpool, which is accompanied by 7 clean sheets. Amongst defenders, Trent has a number 1 ICT index rank, which is very impressive as this season he has recorded 106 FPL points. With an XG of 1.73, it is pretty decent for a defender, and just considering how many crosses he puts in and the great attacking positions that he does get into, he is a very good asset to have at the back because Liverpool have some very good upcoming fixtures. With the likes of Aston Villa, Leeds and Newcastle as their next 3, it could be clean sheets galore as Liverpool head into the back end of the season as they have some very nice fixtures. Also with a 13.4% ownership, he could be a good differential option coming into the back end of the season if you are looking to rise up in those ranks despite his high price tag. So if you are looking for a very solid attacking defender, Trent could be the man. Despite coming in at over £7 million, he is such a good FPL asset, and with Liverpool coming into some good defensive form recently, it could be a good time to jump on their defence. Moving on to the hold options, starting off with John Stones. Stones has a 22.3% ownership as he is one of the most owned defenders in FPL. Coming in at £5.3 million, he is great value in that Man City defence as he has got himself 4 goals and 13 clean sheets this season. This totals his score to 122 FPL points, which also makes him one of the top scoring FPL defenders. He did get rested in Man City's most recent Premier League match, which has put a question mark over his head whether or not he will be getting good minutes in the future. But I am assuming it is just that Man City squad rotation. There is Champions League as well, which they're obviously prioritising at the moment, since they should have the league wrapped up. But Stones will continue to play most matches in the Premier League, you can assume, and if he does, Man City should be getting in some clean sheets in the upcoming matches, so it could be worthwhile just sticking with John Stones, seeing if he gets those minutes, and then transfer him out after that if he doesn't. But if you keep him in, he probably will get the clean sheets over the upcoming game weeks, as Man City face Leeds and Aston Villa as their next 2. Moving on to Ollie Watkins, he has been transferred out by quite a few managers over the recent game weeks, but after getting himself 7 points in Aston Villa's most recent match, he has proved why he is a solid hold. At £6.6 million, he is a good budget option on top, and it has only a 26.1% ownership, which is fairly low compared to the other strikers around his price range, such as Patrick Bamford or Mikel Antonio. Aston Villa do have some tricky upcoming fixtures as they face Liverpool and Man City as their next two, but then they have a decent fixture turn after that, which features West Brom as their next match, so it could be worthwhile just holding off getting rid of Ollie Watkins as he could continue to score in his next few games. As Aston Villa do have a decent attack, Jack Grealish should be coming back into the side as well. Liverpool have been leaky throughout the season, but have kept 2 clean sheets in their most recent matches. But if you guys can just cop the next 2 games and then back in Ollie Watkins for the fixtures after that, it could be worthwhile to do so. And capping off the holds with Mo Salah, he's been quite a talked about FPL asset over the recent game weeks because of his poor performances, but after getting himself 8 points against Arsenal in his most recent game, it is good to see him return to his goal scoring form. With a very low 29.3% ownership, this is one of the lowest it has seen Salah at for the whole entire season, so for that reason he could be a good option to have in the middle of the park and a good alternative to those other premium options in midfield. With 18 goals and 4 assists this season, he has been great over the course of the season, but has only managed 1 goal in his last 6 matches. But you just back him in to get on a roll now after getting that first goal in a while. He's broken the duck, so he should be back to his goal scoring ways, and with such a proven FPL asset, it's definitely not worthwhile moving him on as he is such a great player. Also, he has a 15.13 XG, which is the 3rd highest in the league. He's also outperforming that, which does prove his goal scoring threat, and with a total of 182 points, he's just such a great option, especially considering Liverpool's good upcoming fixtures. So now moving on to the sell options, starting off with Gareth Bale. Bale didn't start for another match for Spurs, which makes it 2 in a row for him, as he only got himself 1 point against Newcastle. Bale is coming in with a 10.3% ownership at £9.4 million, as he has been transferred in by quite a lot of managers recently. He has got himself 5 goals and 2 assists this season, totaling 59 points with an XG of 2.89, as he is significantly outperforming that. Obviously, he has been a bit of a revelation for the Spurs since starting recently, but with Lucas Moura getting the nod over the recent matches, if you are paying £9.4 million for a player, you do want them to be starting, so for that reason, Gareth Bale would be a good sell. Moving on to Stewie Dallas, he has been great for Leeds this season, getting 124 points with 5 goals, 3 assists and 9 clean sheets. With a very good XG for a defender of 3.18, he's been such a great value option at the back, coming in at £5.1 million. But with a very high 25.1% ownership, he is one of the top owned defenders, and with Leeds' very difficult upcoming fixtures of Manchester City, Liverpool and Manchester United, this is arguably 3 of the hardest teams to verse in the season, and with all 3 of them lined up in a row, it could be worthwhile moving on those Leeds defenders, especially Stuart Dallas, for this fixture run. After these 3 matches, Leeds do end the season with quite nice fixtures, so if you just transfer him out for these 3 matches and get him back in after that, his price shouldn't decrease by too much, and it will be a good move to get in a defender who is more likely to rip those clean sheets. And to finish off the sell list, it is Bukayo Saka coming in at £5.2 million. Saka was unable to play in Arsenal's most recent match against Liverpool and has been a bit out of form recently for the Gunners. With a 7.6% ownership, he has a decent amount of managers that do have him in the squad. Arsenal have some strong upcoming fixtures of Sheffield and Fulham as their next 2, but just considering how out of form Saka has been recently, it may not be worthwhile having him in the squad anymore. Despite Arsenal's good fixtures, you could switch to another attacking option, such as the likes of Lacazette. He does have a very good XG of 6.83, but has been underperforming that with 4 goals, as he has missed quite a few big chances. He is a cheap option at £5.2 million, so it could be worthwhile having him in for 1 or 2 more weeks to see how he goes, but I just think with his recent form and the injury that he currently has, it's probably worthwhile moving him on. So that's what we've got for today for the buy, hold, sell of FPL Gaming31. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to show support for the channel. And once again, share this video with your friends if you guys are enjoying this type of content. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.